Hey guys, this is James, the Rambling Dasher, and we're back with another episode of Dashing in the Dark. So, thank you guys for joining me today. We will primarily just do a bunch of rambling. So, I just finished up another early night edition. We finished up with like a 49.50, so we're only about halfway there. 49.50 after 4 hours. So, $50, 4 hours, that's halfway there, but I don't want to work till midnight either. So, we're going to do our best to get the other $50 in the next 2 to 3 hours. And I did just accept an order for, it does not say how much it's for. So, normally I back out of there. So what I do know is it's for US Pizza, and it was for 2 different drop-offs. So frustrating with that. And it seemingly was like $11 or $13 and some change. So I don't know exactly. I will look at my stats, because earlier today we just took every order, and we started out with a $2 order, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take them tonight and try to get my AR back up to something reasonable so that I don't have to schedule. So right now it's frustrating that I have to schedule being silver status because I've dropped down to 64. So right now I haven't declined any orders. I took a $2 order as my first order. They ended up giving me a $3 tip, so it turned out to be $5. So not that bad, but I've taken some other bad orders. In my opinion, they're bad because they're high mileage, low paying, less than $1 a mile kind of orders. But we're at $50. So the last couple orders have bumped me up a little bit. I think they've both been close to $10 or so. Maybe the last 3 orders have been. So we're up to $49.50 at 8 o'clock, and we're gonna shoot for another 50 to try to get us up to that $100 number that we look for on long nights, including the dashing in the dark nights. So I took this order. It was 13 something, maybe 13.75, and it's at US Pizza over in I think it's in US Pizza is probably in Bryant. Yes. So we're gonna head that way now. So anyway, again, thank you guys for showing up, and look forward to the rambling. So I'm gonna get back over to my dash and look at the directions just to make sure I take the most efficient route. So I did turn off the dash for in between the 2 shows tonight, and just flipped over to the Razorback baseball game against the UALR Trojans, and the Razorbacks won last night 10 to nothing in 7. Today, I don't know how many innings they were going, if they were going to full, or yesterday. I know in some instances they'll say, hey, we're only going to play 7 innings, and that might be in doubleheader nights. But if they're leading by 10 after 7, they'll call it. So last night it was 10 runs in 7 innings. Tonight, I just flipped over there. When I was listening earlier, it was 2 to nothing, and then I just flipped over there. The game's over, and the Razorbacks won 4-0. I don't know if they shut it down after 7 innings or if they went the full 9 innings. But either way, it's Razorbacks win again 4-0. So hopefully that can corral them into this weekend where they have to go to Florida. The Razorbacks have lost 2 SEC series in a row to Georgia 2 weekends ago, and this past weekend they lost to Texas A&M, and they dropped from number 1 to number 2, and then this week they dropped to number 5. So so hopefully they get back to Florida and get back to winning series. And I heard this on the radio this week because listen to sports talk radio. I can't remember the guy's name. One of the pitchers for the Razorbacks was on today, and he just said, it's bad timing because they wish they would have caught Texas A&M earlier in the season when they were losing all the games, but they got all their players healthy, and now they're like back to their preseason. I think they were preseason number 1, and so they're back to the form that they were expected to be at mid-season, but that they weren't earlier in the season. So I fully expected after Texas A&M, they won the last 2 or 3 series they've played in, but they must have been so bad early on that they aren't getting ranked. So even though they beat two different teams 2 weekends in a row, that they won the series over ranked teams, and this past week they beat the number 2 Arkansas Razorbacks, and they still aren't ranked because I think they're 8-10 in conference. So Arkansas is still at least tied or standalone ranked, tied, or I can't remember. They're second or tied for second in the SEC. Still, after losing 4 out of the last 6 SEC games. So, fingers crossed the Razorbacks can get back into winning mode and sweep Florida. And then they got... So, Florida, I don't think is ranked right now. But the next 3 games after that, they're the 3 series they have against, I think, LSU, Texas, and Tennessee. So Tennessee was ranked number 1 before Arkansas was ranked number 1, and then LSU has been in the top 10 a lot this season, and Texas is the current number 1 team that Arkansas gets to play. So Arkansas plays former number 1 in Tennessee, the number 1 team in Texas, and then another top 10 team in whatever I just called them. I can't remember. LSU. So they got 4 series left, and they get the cream of the crop of the SEC in those 4. So it's it is what it is. It's SEC baseball, right? So, all right. So we talked about some baseball, and now I'm at the restaurant, so I'm going to run in and grab this food. I will catch y'all on the other side. All right. Amazing. That was the fastest I've ever been into that place, so I don't know. In and out anyway. So both orders ready to go when I got there, so that was awesome. And now we're going to deliver them. So the first one, it says 7 minutes. That doesn't seem right, but maybe, I guess. Okay, it's back on the other side of the freeway. So, all right. So we are going to. Oh, I should have went out the other way. Oh well. We're gonna go out this way. All right. Sorry. It's a little bumpy. All right. It's truly dashing in the dark because it is dark up in here. So we'll turn the light on over here every once in a while, just so we can see. So I don't know if you guys have figured this out. I live in Arkansas, and I'm an Arkansas Razorback fan. Seemingly, we usually always have a good baseball team and track and field. So I don't keep up with the track and field. I do try to and I'm not a big baseball fan by any means, but I do like listening to the Razorback baseball games on the radio, in that kind of stuff. Obviously, I'm a huge basketball and football fan, but we don't ever have that much to cheer about. Now, we got Cal in here, but it was kind of a crapshoot. People got hurt. People, and then the whole it is what it is with college football and college basketball right now, with the transfer portal, with the NIL money. It's like the wild, wild west right now. And until someone gets a hold on things, you know, it's just going to be a crapshoot. Somehow there's got to be some rules. There's got to be language in there that the universities have some kind of something that says, hey, people can't just break their contracts. People can't just, leave. And then they got these portal windows that are just crap as far as the timing, right? So it opens up right at the end of spring practice, so players can leave and go to another school right at the end. I would much rather have it set to where the portal is open after the semester is over. I read an article today that talked very much about that. The president of or the athletic director, or maybe the president, I don't know, of Ohio State, who used to have the same job at Texas A&M, said that, yeah, wait till May, because guess what? What I don't know is, are these athletes still student athletes? Do they even have to go to school at all anymore, right? Or are they flying in on their corporate jets just to go to practice into the football games? You know? I don't know this. I mean, maybe. So we had an instance of Nico's little brother absconded from UCLA a couple of, in January, right? In that portal window. So there's a portal window right around the new year, right in the middle of the playoffs, right? And then there's another one that opens up right at the end of spring practice. So kids can leave as soon as even before the bowl games or the playoffs are even finished. They can enter the transfer portal, and then as soon as the spring training is over, they can enter the portal. So seemingly, if you don't like your position on the roster, then you can leave and try to get in a position that's better on a different school, right? And leave that place where you have NIL money in a lurch because you went there. It could be that the school really does have a team mentality, and that they want, they need multiple layers, right? They need backups to these positions. And the crazy thing is that these kids that are getting paid money based upon unproven facts. Where the hell am I going here? Okay, I have somehow missed my turn. So I'm going to turn around in these people's driveway, and hopefully they don't freak out. Freak out! And hopefully I don't get ran over. Okay, let's try this again. I don't see this road. Okay, there it is. Okay. So, but anyway, so, yeah, these guys are just, so what happened with the one Razorback guy that came from UCLA, that was Nico's younger brother, UCLA transferred to, doing this to me. Okay. Nico's younger brother. So he's there from like January through the end of spring training. I don't know what happened, right? Maybe Nico fled to UCLA, and there's some scuttlebutt about him and his dad saying, okay, we'll take less money if we can make up the difference of what Nico was making at Tennessee, but you give the difference to his younger brother who can enter the portal tomorrow. So coincidentally, who entered the portal the next day or so after Nico signed NIL deal with UCLA? Well, his younger brother, to go to UCLA, right? So, and now he's leaving with whatever money that he got in the NIL from Arkansas. I don't like these places. I can't see. I can't see the house. They don't have numbers on them. Okay, there's a number. There's a number. You have to get up in the driveway to see it, but there's a number. Alright, hold on just a second. I'll be back. Alright, so handed that one to the customer. Now, let's figure out how to get out of this place and go to where we're going. I can't. Oh, I guess I'm already out in the street. I was thinking there was a curb there, or like a drop off from their driveway to the street, but it was smooth. Alright, so I got about 2,000 steps to go to get my steps in tonight, so just checking the time. I gotta make sure to get home by like 11:15 or so, so I don't want to stay out that late. I would like to have $100 by 10, but that's not gonna happen. It'll be a miracle to get $100 by 11:15. But we're not gonna turn it away. Maybe we'll get a big tipper. Alright. So back to college football and Nico and his brother. So his brother decides to head off to UCLA, and now the University of Arkansas is looking at not the University of Arkansas, because the University of Arkansas did not pay this player because that's against the law still. Now, but the collective paid him the money. I can't see the freaking road. The collective paid him the money, and the university athletic director says we support the collective wholeheartedly in going after any student athlete that doesn't hold up their portion of their contract. So hopefully the University of Arkansas will sue for more than what they gave him, to try to get a precedent set through the courts to say, hey, if you don't honor this contract, then you're costing the university more than what they paid you. But I doubt that they would do that, but at least maybe get their money back, because it's ridiculous to say, hey, you were there for 3 months and didn't do jack. While you were here, you didn't play at all. You may have worked out with the team, right? But I think it's obvious that he wasn't going to win the starting position. I don't know that to be the case, but I assume the only reason he would leave is because, hey, I'm not going to be the starter, so there's no reason to stick around. Plus, they paid me all this freaking money, so I'll just abscond with it, right? So it doesn't seem like the right thing to do at these universities. For me personally, and I'm old school. I don't have a problem with players making money. I do believe it's too much money. But I also understand that, I mean, for me, it's not really name, image, and likeness. They are getting paid for future potential that they have not proven, right? Which is not name, image, and likeness. So if you can get out there and make money off of your name, image, and likeness, that would be akin to, hey, I have done so well in this particular sport that people want to pay me to do certain things, like buy my jersey, pay me to have my name in this video game. You know, that is name, image, and likeness. What we're doing with these kids is paying them money to come to our universities, not sight unseen, but sight unseen. They haven't done a single thing against college level professionals, and we should not be paying them. If we do, we should be signing them to multi-year contracts with breach of contracts built into their contracts that include all games, all practices, all bowl games, and potential playoff and championship games. So it should be all included, and you could say we will give you bonuses if the team collectively meets these numbers, or you as a player meet these milestones. But not just, hey, we're going to give you a blanket amount of money that is going to be yours if you come to our school, because that is a recipe for failure. And especially an 18-year-old who doesn't know squat about managing money, and they go out there and blow it all on nothing. And then they think, oh, well, I don't have to do any work because I got this crap load of money and I can just go out there and do whatever I want to do. No, that's not the way it works. All right, I got to deliver some pizza. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I didn't get to see that last order, but it was $13.50 for both deliveries. They're relatively close to each other. I just accepted another $13 one, I think. I didn't see how many miles it was. Seems like it was like maybe 8 or 10 miles for $13 maybe, but part of that is going to be getting there and then turn around and going back to wherever the house is. So it kind of, I'm a little ways away from this restaurant. And then so hopefully the distance from the restaurant to where it's delivering to won't be that far. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna hit directions because I don't know how exactly the easiest way to get there would be. I think I do, but this is not, yeah, I know how to get there, but yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. I've been on that little rant about NIL and stuff like that. I feel pretty strongly about it, but again, it's just I'm a person here. But I feel like this whole Nico business has got to be. It's been eye-opening for the people who have to deal with it, but until something like this happens, and then other universities or like, I wish I could find that quote I saw from Nick Saban where he was like cheering Josh Heupel on and saying go Vols. My girlfriend that is a bleeds orange for the Volunteers and can't stand Nick Saban calls him Nick Satan, she was like, she had to admit that he was right about it. You know, Nick Saban said something right. It's probably easier to like Nick Saban now that he's not the coach of Alabama. But yeah. But Nick Saban, I mean, he knew. I mean, I'm sure he put up with a lot to have the teams that he had and to do the things that he did to get those teams and to have the best teams, to have the best mindsets. If you watch some of his speeches, I just think they're freaking amazing. And not that I want my kid to play football, but to follow some of those lessons that Saban teaches as life lessons, not just about football. It could be anything in your life. Whenever I see a good one, I send it to my 15-year-old, you know, for him not to watch it. But anyway, I don't know. Something's going to have to give, and hopefully somehow, some way, some entity, I don't know what that entity's going to be, whether it be a Power 5 conference, whether it be, I don't know if there's Power 5 anymore. I don't know if Pac-10 is considered a Power 5. It might just be the Power 4. But anyway, but at some point, these conferences are going to have to stand up if the NCAA doesn't have any authority to do anything. Crap. Then maybe the conferences do it, and they put rules in that they will all abide by. But somehow they've got to give some authority to someone to say, hey, we're going to have rules that can't be broken. You know, and that's supposed to be what the NCAA does for these universities is, you know, they hand out death penalties and stuff. That's what happened to SMU. That's what happened to other schools along the way. But it's a whole different ballgame now that they can make money and distribute the money to the players. And then the players are just, is like, where are the schools going to draw the line? And at some point, they're going to have to say, just like the NFL does, we've got to have a salary cap, right? The universities are there and they make tons and tons and tons of money off of college basketball and college football. Not a lot of money. College football and basketball fund all the other sports and so much more at these universities, right? So at some point, you're going to have to put a salary cap to say, hey, we can't go over this cap for player salaries, right? And I don't know if that is across all sports or to say, hey, in football, this is the salary cap for all the schools in this conference or in the NCAA. I have missed my turn again. I don't know where I'm going. I know where I'm going, but I just wasn't paying any attention. But anyway, so I do believe that something's got to give. That I just feel like a salary cap to one, so that certain schools don't have, they're going to have the advantage because they are that school, right? But to have a monetary system that allows them to just go in there and beat the living crap out of all the other schools because they have the most money. then it's fun for those schools, but then where's the competition, right? Where's the, you don't really have to coach at that point. You just have to get the best players. And yeah, you can still get beat, but if you got the best players on your team because you have the most money, where's competition in that? What's going to keep that money coming in? Because supporters, the people that fund this stuff, they're going to get tired of saying, well, we're not going to give this much money anymore because we don't have any benefit out of it. So we want a piece of the pie too. If we're funding that much into a for-profit business, not a university that is funding education for students, then they're going to start wanting money, or they're going to say, hey, I don't want my money going down the tubes for this team to be losing all these games year after year after year. So putting in some kind of salary cap and making it to where someone can enforce the salary cap is the only way I see going forward that it's going to work. So no one's asking me, but that's my opinion. I'll catch you guys after I pick up this food. Alright, sent them a message, got the food packed up. It is 15-minute delivery for 7 miles. Where are we going? Okay, we're going to back roads and cross over the freeway down that way. Okay, so thank you guys for sticking with me. The Rambling Dasher here on Dashing in the Dark. Don't really have much in the way of organization on the Dashing in the Dark. Not that I do on the earlier in the evening either. So our earlier video, which will be I don't know what episode it is on now, but we're getting close to 20-ish or so. I think I've got some videos that I haven't edited yet, and then I've got some that are uploaded that are gonna come out the next 2 or 3 days. So I think I've got some loaded through what is tomorrow is Thursday, Friday. I think I've got 3 days loaded for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. New full length videos that are anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 hours long. And then I'm constantly going through and making shorts out of those videos. But really, that takes a little bit of time, but I've got software that does it. But mainly getting these videos published and then finding extra time to go through the long videos with this software that goes through and digs some stuff out of them. That's the harder part. So finding that information to create these any kind of shorts is kind of a harder thing to find that extra time to do that. But anyway, I appreciate anybody that's watching these things. I would appreciate it more if you gave me a like and a subscribe, and that just lets the analytics know from YouTube to say, hey, let's put this in front of other people that might like and subscribe as well. Ultimately, we want to get to a place where we can help as many people as we can help, or me get my game to be better. Either it's DoorDashing or doing YouTube, because I enjoy doing them both. The reality is that I do DoorDash kind of out of a semi-necessity, because a couple of years ago I had a contract that I was getting 1099 money on, and I worked at another place that I was getting 1099, but then they hired me as an employee so I could get health insurance. But then my one 1099 contract ended, and I realized that sheesh, I don't really make enough money with one job to pay my bills. So I did really well with both jobs, but with only one, and it was kind of like half the salary. I don't make enough money with one job that's half of the, other of the two put together. Now, I don't need much, but I do need some to kind of make the ends meet. And then if I want to do anything extra, then I need extra, right? But bare bones, just to meet my expenditures every month, I don't make enough money to do that unless I were able to cut a lot out. And I've been through my budget, and I'm like, how can I cut more money from it? I don't know. But when I add DoorDash in there with this, I use this app called Simplify, and it shows you your spending plan. And it shows you, like, I can show all my income, all my regular expenses, I can plug in, like, expenditures that only happen once a year. And then in those months, it shows you, like, hey, your expenses are normally with, like, so it shows DoorDash, I do $350 a week, right? And it comes every Tuesday. So if I don't do that week, then I have to delete it out. So, like, I'm gonna be on a work, not a work trip, but a extended quote unquote vacation. But I'm going to work from another country and still be able to go out at nighttime and do sightseeing and things after work. So, but I won't be able to DoorDash, which is part of the income. So for that month, I've taken all that income out, and my income to expenses in those months is negative. So, I got to figure that stuff out. And I'd like to, at some point, migrate over to passive income of some sort, or to do things that I can do remotely, whereas DoorDashing I cannot do remotely. So if I can figure out a way to do YouTube and make it work, I'm definitely thinking about travel as a genre, just like this DoorDash as a genre or niche. I don't know if it's a real niche or not. I do see there are some DoorDashers out there that I don't know if that's all they do, but they do have a lot of DoorDash type videos. So I don't know what'll happen with this particular channel. But at some point I would like to move away from DoorDashing and move into something that I can do remotely, that I don't have to, be at a certain location to be able to do it. And ultimately my goal is not to have to own a car. So oh crap, there's a train. Alright, I'm gonna send these people a message that there's a train. Long gravel driveway, basketball goal on sidewalk. Doorbell does not work. Please knock instead. Thank you for delivering and making lives better. Well, there you go. I'm making lives better. Thank you for saying that. So I appreciate it. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. I haven't done this in any videos before. But shout out to Copper Mule for having this order ready when I got there. Copper Mule is another local institution. When it first opened, and I didn't know. I knew him because he had a food truck, and then he opened up the Copper Mule, and then I don't know what happened, but that guy's gone. There's new ownership. I don't know anybody there, and I don't go there that often. Maybe like once a year or something like that. It's more Cajun type cuisine. I'm sure they have some American type dishes, but they have some good drinks as well. I'm not a big drinker, so there's that. But it's a nice sit down restaurant in Bryant, and there's just not a lot of, it's not nice like it's casual. It's got a bar, but it's not a bar. They have good food. They have plenty of tables and chairs. You might, if they serve Southern cuisine, you would think it was like a Southern restaurant, but it's more Cajun. I think it's Cajun. I don't know. I'm assuming they still have the same menu. It's been a little while since I've been there. But like red beans and rice, jambalaya, shrimp and grits. And they had some kind of I can't remember that one time I ate there, and it was like I don't remember, but they have a Creole cheese dip with crawfish cheese dip. And I personally think it would be really good with just corn chips, but they do some kind of hard bread pita chips to dip in with the cheese. And I'm like, I don't have a thing against crispy pita dip, but I typically like pita bread with hummus and not so much the cheese dip. I don't know what it is about that bread, but I like corn chips for whatever reason. So maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just slices of some French bread. That would make more sense. I think that's what it actually is. It tastes good, but I still think it would be better with corn chips. But this is one long train. But yeah, anyway, so I've been mentioning restaurants by name. I don't know that I will do. I don't know how in YouTube to mention those places, but maybe I'll tag them all in the Facebook post. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not. But anyway, shout out to those restaurants tonight. Copper Mule is a really good place in Bryant if you're down that way. So there's some places in Bryant that I recommend. So per capita, it's probably more fast food than anything else, and I get tired of that. But there's a couple of really good Mexican places, and there's other ones that are there that I don't personally like, and not that they're there's one that I don't like, and it's what I think of as like white kids coming out with your food, and I'm just like, nope. I haven't been to this one place. It's a Mexican place there in years, and I should probably try it again, but I haven't. And a lot of people, a lot of white people anyway, just rave about that place, and I'm like, ah. But anyway, but there's a couple of places. Senor Tequila and Mi Ranchito are my two places that are my go-tos right in Bryant, and then Taqueria Cuerto for street tacos. and just know that when you walk in there, it is what it is, but they're good. I promise you. Their cheese dip. If when I get the cheese dip, I get a spoonful of their beans in the cheese dip, and I don't know what that is, but it's just tasty to me. And their tacos are really good. So, they got a few other things on their menu, but I always stick with the street tacos. Taqueria Puerto. Then, Mia, Ranchito, Senior Tequila, Copper Mule, if you're looking for a sit-down place that's kind of Cajun, Creole kind of stuff. And then there's, I really like this place called India Cafe. I don't go there very often, but every once in a while. India Cafe, I would highly recommend it. If you haven't tried it, then try it. And then there's another place that came in last year, year before, I think it's called Rook, Roohk, maybe, or KH. Either way, I don't know what, but so they came in with a little bit different flair, and they were kind of like a spin-off of an Indian restaurant in Little Rock, if I'm not mistaken, but they did an Indian-Italian fusion. So they have some like pizzas with tiki masala sauce on it or something like that. They have some traditional Italian, they have some tradition Indian, but then they have the fusion ones as well. So we've been there once, maybe twice, and it was good. We just, it's kind of like that, hey, we need to go get Indian food again, and then we always find something else to get. What else is there in Bryant to sit down at? So there's a little southern place on the south side of town called what the heck is it called? Jordan's. Maybe it's Jordan's Catfish and Barbecue, or Jordan's Barbecue and Catfish, one or the other. Mr. Jordan passed away in the last year or two, but it's just a family-owned restaurant, I think, anyway. So it's still the same stuff. Excellent catfish, really tasty hush puppies, French fries. They you order at the counter, they bring it to you. You self-serve soda machine. What else they got? Great pies. They have fried pies, and then they have regular pieces of pie. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. So Jordan's is a nice little kind of country sit-down kind of place. There is it's a very localized chain called, I don't know, it's my favorite barbecue place, but I can't even think of the name of it right now. Whole Hog Cafe. So Whole Hog Cafe has been in a lot of barbecue championships and won plenty of times. And somehow, this is the confusing part for me with barbecue, is like every time if you barbecue yourself, it's always different. But somehow these guys and other barbecue places, what I don't understand how it happens, is they have come up with a system to consistently have the same flavor every single time. And I don't know how. Maybe it's just the sauce. Maybe it's somehow some magic way they cook the food, cook the meat. But it's very good. There's so that's a semi-local place. That's a nice little place to sit down and eat as well. It's another order at the counter, and they'll bring it. No, they don't even. do they bring? I don't think they bring it to you. I think they call your name or number or something, and you go get it at the counter. But still nice enough. There's a U.S. Pizza, which is a local chain. That's always packed. That's these, I don't know what I'm delivering right now, but the last 2 orders I had were from U.S. Pizza. I'm trying to think of anything else in Bryant per se. I wish I knew where I was going. This thing's still out here a ways. This is one of those, it's like, hey, we're down this long driveway with a basketball goal and this, that, and another, and I'm like, oh, a gravel road. So I might have delivered out here the other day, and I might have missed the turn. So hopefully I don't miss the turn this time, because this GPS won't say turn at this address. It's turn left, which happens to be someone's driveway that has an address on the street where you're turning from. But if you turn down the driveway, you don't know for sure. You're just kind of guessing, and hopefully that you're at the right address. So yeah, in our earlier video, we did a top 5 list of cuisines. I don't know if I mentioned that in the Dashing in the Dark video, but maybe I did. So, but yeah, I don't know that I finished it. But anyway, I had Japanese is 5, Greek 4, Mexican 3, Southern as number 2, and Italian as number 3. So anyway, my favorite little pizza place in Bryant, called Different Dough Pizza Co. Different Dough, D-O-U-G-H Pizza Company, is oh heck, I think I missed my turn. I did. Okay, I gotta pay attention here, people. But yeah, they got a little dining area. It's not very big. Probably like maybe 8 or 10 tables. The pizza takes a good 20 minutes to cook, so you want to be prepared for that. If you're going there to dine in, a lot of people get takeout from there. Alright, this looks like the long gravel road that they mentioned. And there's a basketball goal on the sidewalk. Now I gotta figure out how am I supposed to turn around up in here? But we'll figure it out. Okay, I'm gonna go deliver this food. I'll be back. Alright, so that was $6 DoorDash, a $7 tip for $13. That puts me at $76 Rinos at $9.10. So let's see where we are. Okay. Tomorrow, 55% chance of light rain. So, that kind of, not that I'm against dashing in the rain, but I would rather not, especially if it's going to storm. Here's what I don't want to do, is I don't want to hit their basketball goal while I'm turning around. in their driveway with no turnaround place. So anyway, I'm getting close to the end of the dash, so something tells me Friday's gonna have to make up for it all. Or I dash over the weekend again like I did last weekend, so I'm hoping that I don't have to do that, but I might. And I probably will, just because I feel like I need to. So let's see if that did anything to my ratings. Still at silver at 69, so I still need more dashes to get up to platinum. And I'm out of the zone right now, so usually I'm way out this road that I go to a lot, but there's no restaurants out here anyway, so gotta get back. I need to find I'd like to find $25 more, and I don't mind working for an extra hour to do that, and I'm within $24 of that, but 100. And I got a $3 tip earlier too, so I forgot about that, but still, I'd like the DoorDash pay to be up there. I might, just depends on what I got going on this weekend, but I know that the fact that I'm going to be gone for a while, that my DoorDash does need to go into the weekend, but this is the last couple of weekends I have to spend with the kids before we go, and they're going to be staying at the house to take care of the animals, so I need to spend some time with them, so I might not DoorDash over the weekend, so we'll see. If I just need a little bit, I may dash some, but hopefully I don't. My back is starting to get sore though, sitting in this car. But yeah, I'll probably just, I don't know. I'll give it my college best here, whatever that means, over the next hour, and see where we are. And if I feel like I have an opportunity to get to 100, then I'll keep going up until like 11ish. But otherwise, I'll probably cut out about 10, 15ish, 10:30. But we'll see. I know it's 9:15. I mean, I could get a $24 order right off the bat. But lately, the best orders have been coming earlier in the night. And they don't typically, they're not typically that great later on. You know, you might get some $7 to $10, $12 orders. Like the last two I got, well, granted, the one before this one was 13, but it was 2 deliveries from the same restaurant. This one was 13 from one restaurant, but it was a long ways out. So, you know, I'm running a good 20, probably closer to 30 to 40 minutes round trip on that $13. So that's the things you run up against, especially in even though I don't think Bryant is being rural, but there ain't much to it. And so you got people that do live outside the city limits or whatever, and so those ones can get to be, the delivery can get quite extensive. And I wish DoorDash would take into account, you know, hey, these deliveries are farther away and people are tipping less and less. And then I'm seeing more and more people on Facebook that are like, don't tip DoorDash drivers. They get enough money. They accept it knowingly that they aren't getting paid or whatever. And I'm like, why would you say that? But there is a larger sentiment of people, or I don't know about sentiment, but just to say, we and I would agree with this. It's like, I saw, because I've been reading a lot about blogs or groups on Facebook from Portugal, and people that go there for work and extended time, and then also just to traveling kind of blogs, and saying that, because Americans want to go there and say, what's the tipping? What are we supposed to tip? Because they don't want to not tip when everyone says Europe, you don't tip. But really, every country is a little bit different. So what most people are saying over there is that 10 to 15%, and that is only for exceptional service. Otherwise, you might just round up to the next dollar if you're paying in cash, and the reality is that they get paid enough, and obviously not enough, but I'm saying that they get their wages cover their salary, whereas in the United States, the law is that restaurants don't have to pay their staff American minimum wage as long as their tips get them there. So what happens is a restaurant is like supposed to, they have to pay like $2 or $3 an hour, and then, but if the staff doesn't make whatever the minimum wage is in the United States, then the restaurant is responsible for paying the difference. So let's say the minimum wage was, I don't think it is $10, but let's just say it's $10 an hour, and the restaurant worker gets paid $3 an hour by the restaurant. Well, then let's say that most of the time that worker gets, an extra $7 an hour in tips, but for whatever reason this night they only got $6 an hour in tips. So then the restaurant is going to have to fork out an extra $1 an hour to make sure that person got $10 an hour, including their tips. Now, I don't know if restaurants do that for real or not, because a lot of times they don't know what tips they make if they're in cash. Now, they do if it's on credit card. And here's the hard part, and I get it, restaurants do this crap, but this is what they do. So if you leave a tip for, and this is just for people in the United States, and I'm sure overseas as well, but if you leave a tip for your person, right, and you purposely left them a $10 tip, well, if you do it on a credit card, the restaurant is the one that pays the credit card company the 3% that the credit card company charges, and then they only pay the $10 minus the 3% to the staff as their tip. So if you're paying tips with credit cards, most places they don't get that full $10. They get the $10 minus the 3%, whatever the restaurant. Usually in restaurants, my guess is they're probably cheating their staff, not of a little bit of money, not a whole lot, but most of the time, I mean, I've used Square, and Square doesn't charge me 3%, but my daughter's restaurant charged her 3% because they said that's what the credit card machines And everywhere you go, if you see people that charge you extra, they charge you 3% for the credit card machine. Well, the credit card might charge anywhere from 1 to 1.5 or something like that. They might charge some places 3%, I don't know, but I find that to be excessive, the 3% number anyway. So, and I'm bad about this as well because I don't carry around a bunch of cash to pay tips with, but I should. Everyone should carry cash and pay tips in cash, so that that those people that you're wanting to get the tip don't get shorted by a credit card getting that money. Alright guys, heading back into town. We are looking for a good $24 order. One $24 order. That would be freaking awesome. Don't know where it's going to come from, but one $24 order. This is the old mantra of speaking it into existence. Right now it's not happening, but it needs to happen. Come on, $24. $24. Come on, $24. That'll put me right at 100. Let's go. Let's go. I'm not getting any orders though, so what's up with that? So we'll do our drive through town here, and I just don't know what's gonna happen, man. I'm kind of getting tired too, so I'll drive through town. I suspect I'll get an order somewhere, but I'm gonna drive down to the Alcoa exit on this back road and just see if I get any orders. If I don't, I'm gonna turn it off and go to the house because I don't feel like driving around not getting orders. I hate to give it up at $76 though, when I need 108 to get me back on track for the week. So, welcome to Dashing in the Dark. It's a yawn-a-thon. I'm trying to think of any other little sit down. There's a couple of the Asian place there. There's an Asian place there that both have sit down places. And look, I get one order for $4.50. It's 4.2 miles, and it's right past where we just were. So I'm gonna pull over here, make a U-turn in front of these people coming behind me, and hope that I don't get pulled over by anyone. But I'm gonna accept the order because I want my AR to go up. And I want the AR to go up. So here's another Mexican place. It's just not one of my favorites. It's okay. It seems like I always get the same thing here, like a taco salad or something, but it's okay. Alright, I will be right back. Alright. So, while I was waiting on the Mexican food, I got another one from Marco's Pizza that said $6 plus. And it was only 246 feet additional. So, yes, I will take that. So, That puts me over $10 on this one, delivering to 2 places most likely in the same apartment complex. That's just a little ways down the road here. So directions, 7 minutes, 3 miles. So not a bad deal. Probably spent, I don't know what time it was. I was yammering on saying I need to get a $20 or $24 order. So in essence, I get a $10 order, and it takes me about 20 minutes to pick them up because neither one were ready when I accepted. So I think it was around 9:15 when I was saying I needed those orders. So I don't know, this might be my last order. We'll see. I'll just come out of those apartments, drive back this way, see if I get anything. And I may stay later, or I may just go to the house. It is only 9:36. I'm at 8566 steps, so I can get my steps in about 15 minutes. So if I wanted to, I could stay out later. I might just do it. Just because I don't want to push it all off on Thursday and Friday. And I know my kids will be over tomorrow. I need to figure out what I'm going to fix for dinner tomorrow night. What's going to be for dinner? I didn't really get to any personal finance earlier tonight in my early video, so I don't know. I hit roadblocks on this stuff unless I'm really into it and just thinking about it. I've been reading a lot of articles about student loans. So there's my gas light just came on. I read an article today that was not by him, but you know how people do. They're like, hey, we watched this guy on his YouTube channel and now we're going to write an article about it. Sometimes they're hatchet jobs, or they just take everything out of context, and sometimes they're just straight up facts, whatever they said, and then they'll include in what other people commented about it, and then other times it's just, I don't know. So it's kind of, it is what it is, and that's what goes for news articles these days. But this one was about Dave Ramsey, what he said to a woman who called and asked about student loans of her daughters. And so basically didn't really, and I didn't see the video of the podcast or whatever Dave Ramsey has, so I didn't get to see that part of it. But what I did understand is that this woman called asking, how do you take this on? And basically what Dave Ramsey was saying is that he doesn't think we have a student loan problem. We have a parenting problem. Is that these parents are not equipping their kids to handle and to be smart enough not to go $100,000 in debt to go to a school that will not give you a degree that will afford you to be able to pay that debt back. And as an 18-year-old, I guess what he's saying is that it's not necessarily the government's business to get involved in that transaction. But to me, the government should put some kind of limits to say, no, an 18-year-old can't borrow that much money. An 18-year-old, maybe a 24-year-old, you know, but an 18-year-old can't borrow that much freaking money. Which is the crazy thing to say, yeah, let's just loan hundreds of thousands of dollars to 18-year-olds so they can go get a degree in basket weaving. Because that's the thing that they want to do. So this person sent me a picture of Scooby-Doo in a sombrero. That is freaking awesome. I can't type while I'm driving. I don't know if that was the one I'm delivering to or that was the other one. I don't know which is which now. I'm thinking that was the Mexican food and we're taking the pizza first, I think. Hell, I don't know. I hope I got them straight. $4.08. Okay. Here's the tricky part. Building 4 is right here, and it's, I don't know which side is the front. It's a weird one. But either way, these apartments have a walk-through, and you don't have to walk around the building. Now, the only negative here is there's no freaking parking spaces. Alright. I'm trying not to hit this Mustang looking car. Okay, I'm gonna go deliver this food. I'll be right back. Hey, we are back. Dashing in the dark. So the one that was, I don't remember the numbers, but one was like $4.50, the other one was like $6, and it had a $1 extra tip on there. So every little bit helps. So I got $11.50 out of that. Not too bad. Puts me at $87.50. So really, I had a $3 cash tip earlier. So so I need to get. I'd like to get $12.50 or more, and it's $9.53. So it'd be ideal to catch up with where I was. I needed $8 or so, so that would be $12.50. I need $20, but we'll take whatever we can get. Let's take a look at the. I was afraid. I knew there used to be a big old pothole right there, but I guess they finally filled it. Oh, look at that! Platinum status. I'm up to 71 percentile now. So just like that, I'm at platinum again. That took some doing. So possibly could have been at a higher number than $87 had I skipped over a $2 order, a bunch of other small orders. Here's a Wendy's for $3 or $8.52 for 3.7 miles. So let's take that one. So that's going to put me upwards of 90. Let's see, I can't do math right now. It's I'll let it burn around $96 because it's $8.52 and I got $87.50, so $96.02 I think. So now I gotta make sure I'm going to the right Wendy's. It is the one down on, no, this is not that Wendy's. Where the hell? Oh, this is taking me back back the other way. Why? Why? I'm just gonna find a place to make a U-turn right here in the middle of the street. And here's a little driveway, I think. Well, I can't really see it. Okay, so it's taking me to the Wendy's not in Bryant, but the one in Benton. So let's hope that the majority of this DoorDash mileage is because it's 3 miles to the Wendy's, and then I didn't think it was that far, so hopefully it's not that far from to get this thing delivered. So anyway, so it's gonna be an alright night, and especially for taking some lowball orders and then getting some decent orders towards the end, even though maybe a handful of $10 orders, but probably a good night. Customer added, oh, look at that. So customer added $5 tip on the past Casa Mexicana order delivered at that. So that was very nice of the dude who was joking back and forth with me, and I gave him a fist bump saying that I enjoyed the banter or whatever. I didn't say banter, but anyway, so that was nice of him. Now I can't get back in the DoorDash, which puts me at $92.50. And the $8.52 puts me at $101.02. Look at that. Would you look at that? Every time I go across that bridge, that GPS is like confused to all get out because it thinks I'm going on the freeway underneath it. It's just jacked. So that would have been Philip. Thank you, Philip. Alright, 9:58. I wonder if I wait 2 minutes, if they will let me come through the drive-thru. I'm really tempted just to get a Frosty too while I'm here. When I go home after this, I'm gonna get me some ice cream though. I have a feeling I'm gonna get me some ice cream. I think I deserve some ice cream after not hitting the decline button at all tonight. So here's one way to look at it, right? I didn't hit the decline button at all. I'm not getting my $10 average per order. I'm not getting my $1 per mile that I want to get. Maybe I am on an average, I don't know, because I don't know how many miles I'm gonna go. But I got a $3 tip, I got a $5 tip. I gotta take the trash out. I just got a notification. That are extra tips on top of what they were already tipping. So that was nice that two different people gave me extra tips. So, well, one of them had 0 tip on in there anyway. So they gave me extra on top of the 0 they gave in the app. But yes, thank you for that very first order. I can't remember their name. But anyway. I bet if I went up to the door, it's going to be locked. I'm just going to park right here next to the door. There's nobody here. The lights are even off in there. I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to go through the drive-thru. And then they'll be like, you have to come around. You have to come around. You have to go inside.
Hi, welcome to Wendy's.
Hey, Wendy's, I have a DoorDash for Madison.
Is that a DoorDash for added then?
Madison.
Madison.
Did you find it?
Pull forward.
Thank you. Alright. So, this is what the scary part is. You drive all the way down here and they can't find the freaking order. So, I don't know. I hope they got it. And it always freaks me out because it's like one voice that said, welcome to Wendy's, and then a different voice is like, how can I help you, or whatever, you know? So I guess one way of looking at this is that, number one, I can honestly say that when I said that I'm going to accept all dashes tonight to get my status back, I didn't feel the stress. As like it was a much less stressful night than it is contemplating whether you're going to decline things. From my perspective anyway, because there's some of them that I was like, no, I'm not taking that. But then I start stressing over it. So the fact that I didn't have to decline any tonight, and I didn't have to either think about it or debate with myself and all that, I just accepted it. I might have bad-mouthed them a little bit, but I still accepted it, and we just went about our business. And at the end of the day, it turns out it looks like we're going to meet our $100 goal, and get the things, you know, that we want to accomplish out of that. I mean, I have a $100 goal on here, as what I would say is my primary goal at any given time. And then secondary goals are $1 per mile on orders, $20 per hour worked, not hour active. And so those are secondary goals. But your primary one is like, how much money do I need this week? I need at least $400. So I need 100 on my long nights. I need 50 on my short nights. That equals $400 for the week. And if I can meet that, then I feel pretty good about things. Even if I didn't meet the other two goals, those are just ancillary to the ultimate goal of getting that $100. Anyway. So, fingers crossed, we'll get it. I wouldn't mind getting one more $8 order after this, but we'll see. Let's see, if I go back, I probably should, I'm going to go back to Dash. I'm going to I'm gonna do what I don't like doing on the screen here, because every time I watch myself do this crap, I'm like, oh, that's just a horrible image and bad TV of me sending this message. But basically, it's gonna be the name of the person, Madison, Madison, or I put, hey, Madison, exclamation, Wendy's, clipboard, post, paste, and then send them in. This dude's waving me in there. Dude, I'm busy typing. Settle down. Yeah, for Madison. Sorry about that. Thank you for the cup holder. Have a good, is this it? Appreciate you. Have a good one. Alright, so she said a lot of stuff there, sorry. That's why I hate doing all that. But, so she said that there's been a lot of mix-ups lately with deliveries, that she has a greenhouse. I said, thanks for the heads up. A greenhouse in the dark, I'll do my best, you know. And then she said she left the light on. She said, I know you will. And she left their porch light on, so that was nice too. Because that people that don't have their porch light on is very frustrating for a delivery driver, especially when you're dashing in the dark. I know that I don't necessarily like dashing through the drive-through, because you can't, like, I have boxes in the back that I feel like secures the cups in a cup holder, and then I put the food in one of those little warming bag things, and it keeps it warm, and it can sit in the same box with the drinks so that they don't try to tip over and start leaking down in my seat. So right now I'm just kind of screwed because they're just kind of leaning over right now. And then I got a Frosty with a swirl in there. Okay, so we are on the way. It's only 2 miles. I think I might have been to this house the other day. I don't know. Maybe not. But maybe, shoot. Those instructions about a greenhouse seem vaguely familiar. So, we'll see. Maybe I was there the other day. It's only 2 minutes away, so I might try to get one more order here and hit up. Try to get up there around that 112. That's a big pothole. I hate those ones that like jeer you off the road. You know, oh, I lost another filling there. You know, those are the worst. But yanking your steering wheel out of your hand is a close second to losing a filling. Alright, so we're getting close, we're getting close, we're getting close. This little stretch has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little turn roads here. And they're all just back to back to back. Hang on. Don't lose any drinks. Okay, and there's like tiny little houses on this road. Alright, I'm going to turn this light out so I can see better. So you'll just have to listen louder. Okay, a greenhouse with the light on. I see a light down there, but I don't see a greenhouse unless it's a weird green. It must be a weird color green because that does not look green. Oh, it says 1304. So it's not, it's because it's not that house, it's this next one. Okay, I'm gonna run this food in and I'll be right back. Alright, so 852 was 275 and 577. So very interesting as far as the numbers associated with that DoorDash, but we'll take it. And that puts me up at 10102, which is exactly what I said earlier. And when I go back to earnings for the week, 142.15. So about $7 would put me at the 250 that I feel like I would be 100% caught up. So I'm gonna just take off and drive back towards the house, and if I get one more order, I get one more order, and I'll take it. Hopefully it's for $7, not $2. This is what happens. It's like, hey, I'm on my way home, $2 here, $2 there, $2 there, and then I'm like, no, I need to go to the house with these $2 orders. So 1 7+ order, please. That's all I need. One $7+ order. One $7+ order. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And don't let me run out of gas. So I'm gonna have to get gas tomorrow. If not tonight, I probably can make it another few miles. I am let's see, close, maybe. I don't know. I'm right at 30 miles to the gallon, and I've got, I don't know how many gallons this tank holds. If it holds, I haven't maybe put in 10 gallons in it before, which is right at 300 miles. Alright, so I'm not gonna go. What am I not? I'm not going to. There, I got. No, you piece of crap. You piece of crap. Oh, shoot. Okay. I don't see anybody coming, so I'm gonna make a U-turn right on top of the bridge. But, alright, I'm gonna accept this Applebee's for $6.25 and go on about my business of trying to get it tonight. I never get Applebee's. If these people make me wait, I'm gonna be ticked off too. Because they are notorious for being extra long in their length of time it takes them to make whatever they're making. But so I'm going to go ahead and pause the orders after this one and just call it a night. This one is like 3.7 miles. So I don't know what direction it was from the Applebee's. I didn't see that. But I almost got me an armadillo right there. And I don't want to hit any armadillos in this car because it might do some damage to this thing. He was just like, yeah, I think I'm just going to wander right out here on the access road. I was like, what the heck is that? Fortunately for me, they're relatively slow. Unless you scare them and then they start running. But he was just like, yeah, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. I don't know if this is I don't think this is a handicap spot. Car side to go parking only. Alright, I'll be right back. Hey. So, 7 minutes away, 2.7 miles. Not too bad. Not too bad. Okay. Headlights. Must have headlights. Alright. So, a few more minutes here. Drop this food off and be headed to the house. So something I try to do every day is just go over the details of the dash for the day at the very end. So I always try to do that. I wonder, I never think about this, but I was thinking that maybe I could try to incorporate that screenshot into the video at the end. Don't know why, doesn't really matter, but just an added touch. Sometimes I see screenshots on Facebook and I'm like, is that even real, right? Where do you live that you get such good orders? But also, it's just another way to connect with people to show them that either you're real, that the orders that they're getting compared to these ones that are outrageously like good are not the norm, maybe, and that people do have to get out there and work their tails off to make it make money at door dashing, right? It's like, yeah, I put in 30 minutes, I made $600. I'm like, no, it's not like that. It's not easy, and you can't be, I don't know. I consider myself to be a lazy person, but to some extent, you can, like, I'm lazy when it comes to doing things that I have to do around the house and other things, and I try to find the easiest possible way to do them. But there's something about DoorDash for me that just, it's like, this is me being somewhat lazy and making money at the same time, even though it's like I'm not out there digging ditches, I'm not coding by any means, which would be the death of me if I had to sit down and code for 8 hours. It's hard enough for me to build freaking documents, is what I do a lot, and I can't focus on that for 30 minutes to get stuff knocked out. I've been working on one project for seems like a month just to add a preferred name to every single document in the system, and it's like just wears me out to no end to be able to sit there and do this repetitive thing time after time after time after time after time until you get through hundreds of documents. And it's just mind-boggling. And now I probably have to do it in a different system. So I haven't even logged into that other system. So I don't know. I'm just scared to think about it. So we'll see. I really wish my boss would give me directions on what I should be doing, because most of the time I don't know, what I need to be working on at any given time, so I just make up stuff for myself. And that's one thing I do like about DoorDashing is, like, guess what? I got someone right here in this phone telling me what to do and when to do it and where to go and what to pick up and where to take it to, The decisions I get to make are, do I want to accept it or do I want to decline it? And other than that, it's fairly stress-free. I don't know, but that Applebee's is smelling good. It's some kind of chicken Alfredo. I'd hate for them to be missing their order tonight, but they're not going to. That's one thing that I just can't see myself ever doing, is eating other people's food that they paid for. And it frustrates me for dashers. It frustrates me for the customers. It frustrates me for DoorDash, that people would go and sign up to be a DoorDasher and then say, hey, I'm going to take those people's food and never mark the order as confirmed as picking it up. And so then the dash finally reassigns to another person, and the restaurant says, yeah, somebody else picked that up. So or the dasher, I guess if you think about it, the dasher could say that the restaurant never brought the food out, so they unassign it, but they pick the food up. I do like it when restaurants say, hey, can you confirm that for me? Because truthfully, that should fix that situation for the most part. Can't guarantee that it fixes it all the time, but hopefully it does. I wonder if this is his house. It looks like it. There's no cars in the driveway. I'm gonna pull up in there, yeah. Alright. And these people didn't leave a porch light on for me, so there you go. Alright. Ding. Leave at my door. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright. So I guess I should get out of these people's driveway. They were peeking through. They have one of those little things at the top of their door. They can see through there. And they're like staring at me and stuff. So $3.25 DoorDash pay with a $3 tip for $6.25. Oh, why is this? Oh, my back door must still be open because I don't think it shut very good when I got the food out. So let me fix that. I was like, where's this light coming from? Alright. So, click done. It's pause. I'm just going to go back and go to my, well, I'm going to just end the dash because I'm ready to end it. So, end dash. And go to my earnings. My earnings so far this week, I missed it out by like 58 cents. So not too bad. So today, let's see, 107.27. So that is 6 hours, 38 minutes, 14 deliveries. So I busted through the 2,500 delivery lifetime mark. So yay! I saw somebody post the other day. It's like, what does DoorDash send you when you hit 1,000, or I don't even know what number it was, but it was like 1,000 or 2,000 deliveries, and I just hit the laugh icon on Facebook. So yeah, 6 hours, 38 minutes, 14 deliveries, and I don't think I declined a single one and ended up with 107.27, which was $48 from DoorDash and $59 in tips. So yeah, not a bad night. Even though I put a little bit of extra time in, and it's going to take me a good 20 minutes to get home. So let's see what my status is right now. Ratings, platinum, overall 71, completion 98, 93 for on time or early. That will never change, I don't think. Still have 5.0 rating. I can't see the number. I think it might say 180 deliveries in the last 30 days. And well, that's interesting. It says like 2501. So I don't know where it's getting those. It was at 2496 or something like that earlier. So I don't know when that updates, but any which way, I'm over 2,500 now, so yay me. And I do have, well, because I'm platinum, so I have the Dash Now button. So good times. So again, thank you guys, everyone who's following along. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe. I've enjoyed tonight. Like I said, it's very weird that I haven't felt any kind of weird pressure or any kind of stress associated with dashing at all, because I've just said that I'm gonna accept all the orders, and when I did that, then I just like, okay, there's no issues with it. and I really feel like it was a lot less stressful, because then I didn't get stressed out over getting a bunch of negative orders, or what I perceived to be negative orders. So two things is I was less stressed, I feel like, and I got back into platinum status. So that was a good thing for me. So anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go. Enjoyed it. I will catch y'all on the next video. So have a great night. Bye.